strategies to help you navigate to and through retirement with the help from the Vincent Financial Group.
What do you want the next 25 or 30 years to look like? Let's just have a conversation about that. And then let's build a plan for you that entails all of those things.
Get more at retireatlradio.com. Now, Retire ATL.
Here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent, CFP Matthew Decker, helping you retire on your terms, addressing 3 pillars: tax planning, risk management, determining your income strategy. My name is Mark Owens, the Vincent Financial Group. What can you do for adults nearing and into retirement?
Yeah, well, first of all, we aren't miracle workers, but our goal is to help people who want to make a plan to get from point A, wherever they are now, to get to point B. Set the goals, back into the best strategy to get there. Our aim really is to help people empower their money to live the lifestyle that they want to live. It's not about a number. It's not about a particular product. It's just about getting you from where you are to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of steps do you take in that process, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the first step is we got to sit down with you and understand what your goals are, what your hopes are, what your dreams are. Tell us about your family. Do you have grandkids? You know, maybe you're a great-grandparent. I mean, we meet with so many different people, but step one is, where are you right now? Mm-hmm. Step 2 is, where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And then, like Aaron said, it's all about making a plan to get there. And that's actually the easy part. Making the plan to get there is the easy part. I think you'd be shocked that most people have a harder time talking about what their goals are, because it's not something people really think about in detail until they get close to retirement.
And Mark, that's the X's and O's. You know, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. But we say all the time, life's too short to work with folks you don't like. And so we want to have fun doing it as well.
Yeah. So you say that the hard part is having people recognize their goals.
Yep.
Go deeper with that. I mean, because I'm putting myself in that situation. What is my goal? Financial stability and security for me and my family.
Right.
My goal is to be able to play more golf. My goal is to eventually maybe move to somewhere coastal. So you say that people struggle to find that.
I think what they struggle to find is the why. So, Mark, you say you want to play more golf. Why do you want to play more golf? What's important to you about golf?
Because I'm no good at it right now.
Okay.
I want to get better at golf.
Okay, so you want to get better at golf, which means you need to spend more time playing golf.
Sure.
And it's not just the time either, because if you're going to be playing a lot more golf, that means you're going to need to budget to play more golf. Mark, I don't think we've actually played together, but I've heard through the grapevine that, you know, maybe more than one sleeve of balls is going to be needed per round.
This isn't about me this weekend here. This is about you, the Vincent Financial Group, and what you can do for Metro Atlanta.
Understood. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people think about maybe what they want, but I don't necessarily think that people spend a lot of time thinking about why it is that they want those things.
Yeah.
And that can influence the outcome of a plan. The why is way more important than the what.
Mm-hmm. I like that. 770-741-0120, retireatlradio.com. And Aaron, let's go back even further. We know a little bit now about the Vincent Financial Group, but let's get to know you.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are you from? What do you like? Tell me about your family.
Yeah, I'm a regular guy. My wife and I just celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
This last weekend. Yeah, thank you. I've got a 16-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old daughter, and an 11-year-old son, so I'm all over the place. We got basketball, we got lacrosse. It's busy, but it's a lot of fun. I love it that way. I mean, my family is huge. Mm-hmm. We talk about how important, kind of the why. Mm-hmm. Matt talked about the why and why we do what we do, and you know, my family is a big part of my why.
Yeah.
It's we spend so much time together. It's really important to me.
So what brought you to the Vincent Financial Group?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's your firm, it's your practice.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Well, Matt and I actually met working for we were employees of a larger financial firm, and I think we both would say we learned what not to do in a lot of ways, and both decided we wanted to start our own thing. I came home one day from work and I told my wife, I just can't do this anymore the way it's structured. It's so difficult to figure out if clients are getting the best advice for them or if it's the best advice for their financial advisor. And so we just kind of came to this crossroads of that reality, seeing kind of the peek behind the curtain. And it motivated me and motivated us to start our own. I came home one day from work and told my wife, I just can't keep doing this. And at that point, we had our oldest daughter. I think she was pregnant with our second daughter. Our son would come years later, but to my surprise, and I think to her credit, she pushed me. She encouraged me to start our own thing.
I like that. Yeah. Now, we're going to get to your why here in just a couple seconds, Matt, but you can meet the team, retireatlradio.com, or if you hear anything on this weekend show you need some clarity on, 770-741-0120. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you, 770-741-0120. So something we said at the beginning, I know this is one of your main focuses, is the tax strategy.
Yep.
Into and through retirement. And you said something great. You said, we focus on tax planning, not tax prep.
That's right.
Break that down for me.
Well, tax prep, everybody's familiar with. It comes around the same time of the year, every single year. And tax prep is typically looking backwards. What happened last year? What are the accounts? What's on each side of the balance sheet? And then how much do I owe, or maybe do I get a refund this year? That'd be nice. But that's tax prep. And, tax prep is typically going to be done with a CPA, but tax planning is totally different. Tax planning is not looking backwards.
Yeah.
Tax planning is looking forwards. And it's a little bit more difficult to do because we don't actually know what the future is going to look like in terms of taxes. But I think if we're reading the room, there is something that it does seem like, whether you're a Republican or Democrat or independent, there's something that everybody seems to agree upon in Washington, and that is spending money is pretty easy.
Yeah.
And with all those dollars being spent, that's got to come from somewhere.
Yep.
And so tax planning is doing our best to look at where your assets are right now, how those are going to be taxed in the future, and then taking a step back and saying, is that what I want?
Yeah.
Do I want all my money in that 401k or in that IRA, knowing that it's not all mine? And it's those conversations that happen throughout the planning process that you end up where you want to be versus where the government wants you to be,
right?
Which is all of your money in one of those vehicles where they're actually a silent partner in that account. And so that's more of what tax planning is, looking forward, getting where you want to be, your plan versus the government's plan.
Right. How many people, when they come in and talk to you and you start customizing a tax strategy, a tax plan for them, did they not realize how much of their money is going right back to Uncle Sam?
A huge percentage.
Most don't.
Yeah, most don't think about it. Aaron, I can't actually think of anyone in the last year that came into the office and said, well, here's my tax strategy. I know this much money's going to the government over here, and I know that I got maybe this Roth account, and that's tax-free. I don't think anybody comes in with a real clear picture on taxes, especially when you start talking about Social Security taxation, because it's taxed differently, especially when you start talking about Medicare surcharges. It's not a tax in terms of a tax bracket, but it is a way that the government gets more dollars from you. And so it doesn't really show up as a tax, although, let's be honest, it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. And if you're not keeping it, it's a tax.
And how could they know? I mean, where's this taught? Where can you read about the transparent facts about tax code and how this account works or how that account works? I mean, it's hard to find. You have to dig, you have to know what questions to ask. That's one of the biggest things that we find often is that people highly intelligent, I mean, people with big time careers and people who've had very successful lives and saved money. And how do you know what questions to even ask? And I think that's a big barrier sometimes.
So, Aaron, you're saying I can't read the news and I can't just get the newspaper and I can't
Don't get me started, Matt.
I can't get this information. It's not out there.
Headlines. No.
All right. I want you to hit pause on that. I want to get back to that because the headlines are really heavy right now, but we're going to get back to that in a second. 770-741-0120. Again, 770-741-0120. Somebody's in the car this weekend. They're listening. They're going, I have no idea what's going on with my taxes. I know I pay taxes. I don't know what my strategy is. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm frustrated. So let me talk to you as that person that's listening right now, Aaron Vincent. I call the team at Vincent Financial. I schedule that consultation. I come to you, and I'm starting at the very beginning. I'm like, I give you my information. What do you do? What are those steps when building a tax strategy for the person that maybe is just, they have a little bit of control, but they feel like they have no control of their taxes?
Yeah. I think the first thing we do is help you take inventory. We know the questions to ask. And so we're sort of helping you make sense of what you've got and where you're at and help organize that in a way where we can actually talk about it in an effective way. That's the first step. It's pretty simple. Honestly, it's more conversational. We want to get to know you. As Matt mentioned a minute ago, what's easier really is building a portfolio or beginning the tax planning conversation. But what's even more important and what takes some more time is just knowing you. What makes you tick? What do you want? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your plans? Like Matt mentioned, that's kind of the basis of our first conversation.
It begins when you make the phone call to 770-741-0120. 877-401-0120. And let's start about that initial consultation. How much is it going to cost me to come in and sit down with you, Matt?
Well, I'm happy to take as much money as you're willing to give us, but for the WSB audience here, we're doing those consultations at no cost. But I will say, we have limited resources. We have a big team. It's a wonderful team, very talented. But like we say all the time, we're not miracle workers. And so if you're somebody that's done a really good job of taking retirement seriously, you've worked hard, you've saved money, you haven't kind of stuck your head in the sand, and you're proud of what you've done, but you're just unsure of what you've got.
Yeah.
We want to talk to you because those are the people we love helping. But like I said, we're not miracle workers. You got to have something.
You need to have something in a savings and a 401k and a pension and IRA. You need some kind of savings, a retirement plan, if you will. I like how you said that. We're not miracle workers, but we do want to help. 770-741-0120. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you. Get a couple of pieces of information to get you on the calendar to sit down with Matt, to sit down with Aaron and the team at the Vincent Financial Group. So we got to know Aaron a little bit. Matt Decker, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your why.
Man, my why goes way back. How much time do we have? So when I was going into 5th grade, my dad came home one night and he said, Matt, we're not going to have to worry about money anymore. And as a 5th grader, I'm like, I didn't know we were worrying about money, Dad.
Okay, yeah, go on.
I didn't know we were worrying about money, Dad, but now I am. Now I'm worried. Well, he went on to tell us a story. He had a bunch of stock options. He was in a young kind of startup company, had a bunch of stock options, and they were going public. And he had some initial idea of what those options were going to cost, but as anybody knows that's ever got stock options, there's typically a 6-month or a year-long lockout period where the people who get the options can't exercise them. And so that night, now that we're not worried about money anymore, we all went to JCPenney.
Yes, sir.
And we all bought our first NFL jerseys.
Show off.
Yeah. My brother got a Ryan Leaf jersey. I got a John Elway jersey. Okay. And I'm not sure
One out of two way back.
I'm not sure what my youngest brother got. I don't remember. I'm not sure what Jay got, but I'll never forget that. Number one, first jersey. Number two, didn't know that we had money problems. But over the next 6 months, my dad's company was engaged in fraud. Not my dad, but his company.
Sure.
And they went public. And that was all found out after the fact. And my dad's stock options basically went from worth a lot to worth next to nothing.
Ouch.
And so ever since that, I was just interested in this game that was being played, and it was being played on my dad. And I'm like, man, I gotta figure this out because I don't want that to be me. Fast forward to meeting Aaron at the big company that we worked at here in Atlanta, and just kind of got to see how the cookie was made. And I realized that I think we could probably make a better cookie. And here we are.
I like that. And here's the thing, and I don't want to, I do want to pull back the curtain as much as humanly possible. Aaron and Matt are actually friends. Like a lot of times you see some of these, financial advisors, they work together, they share an office together. Maybe they're the same names on the billboard, but the reality is the only time they talk to each other is maybe walking in or out of the parking lot. But I can say, first and foremost, that Aaron and Matt, not only do they work together, they're friends. Like your kids play together.
Oh, yeah.
Like you share the same common interests. And I think that's just important to know that everyone's always on the same page as well.
We're so good friends that we fight.
We have fought before. Yeah, it's true.
Like physically?
We disagree. Not physically yet.
I mean, we could give it a shot.
All right, you know what? I'm here. You're here. Let's just see what happens. 770-741-0120. Appreciate you listening to Retire ATL this weekend. It's all powered by the Vincent Financial Group. RetireATLRadio.com to meet the team and see all the services they have to offer. But let's go even deeper. Tell me about your family.
Man, I've got 3 boys, 11, 9, and 7.
Good Lord, what are mornings like in your house?
Wild. Just out of control. We're trying this thing at home where the boys have to set their own alarm and get up for the bus, and it is not going well.
No.
Not going well at all.
A for effort.
Well, I don't know.
Participation.
I don't know. My wife, Kate, gets an A for effort and execution. The boys, on the other hand, they're C plus maybe. C plus.
We're trying.
But we're all over the place. I've got a boy in tennis. I've got one that does martial arts, another that's trying everything, cross country, tennis, jiu-jitsu. And we just try to keep them busy. That boy energy they can kind of get out of control.
Yeah.
And sometimes my life feels like controlled chaos. And we just kind of try to do the best that we can.
Matt, you are a golfer.
I am. Well, I'm a aspiring golfer.
So I heard that you go through many sleeves of golf balls. And
Tons of sleeves.
Brought it right back
Nice.
around.
Tons of sleeves.
Thank you very much.
In fact, if we were golfing, we probably shouldn't be in the same cart together because it wouldn't.
There's a reason I have garden balls.
There was a time where I scooped up the range balls. I'm past that phase, but it's still not all that great.
No, they're rangé.
Exactly.
They're very fancy.
Exactly.
Aaron Vincent, for yourself, when you do have free time, what do you enjoy doing?
You know, it's funny. I always loved the idea of golf.
Yeah.
And I like being outside. I like sports. I grew up playing sports. But me and golf have this love-hate relationship. And I just decided that I loved hunting and fishing and being on our farm, being with my family. And, 4 hours to play golf if things go well, plus the time to drive there and back to the course. And I just rather spend that time elsewhere. So I still like to play golf every now and then, but I'm more, you'll find me outside. You'll find me at our farm, hunting, fishing, something like that.
You know the old saying, a single man can play a round of golf in about 4 hours. If you're married, it takes about 6. Married with kids, at least 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
At least 8 hours, honey. I'm sorry. We were backed up. It was slow. 770-741-0120. RetireATLradio.com. That's where you can meet the team, see all the services they have to offer. So let's go back to how you're helping serving Metro Atlanta. What is still the number one fear that adults face in retirement?
The number one fear has got to be running out of money. Mm-hmm. Am I going to run out of money before I run out? And that is a huge question. I think that's the one that we answer quite a bit. How can I be sure? How can I be sure? And with that comes a lot of questions. The sub questions beneath that are, is the market going to require me or cause me to fall out to run out of money? Or, all the different risk factors that could go into that. But am I going to run out of money is the biggest one.
Yeah. And what do you find following running out of money, ma'am?
I think that generally a fear of just uncertainty, just not knowing. There's so much information out there. There's so many headlines. If you read the headlines, you're going to fall into that fear-greed cycle. In fact, there's CNN Money does the fear-greed factor.
Right.
And it's never in the middle, it feels like. It's always on one side of the spectrum or the other. And I think that general fear of just not knowing really can kind of bog people down.
You mentioned earlier, I was talking about the headlines, and you just mentioned CNBC right there. The headlines are heavy right now. There's a lot going on in the world.
When are they not?
If someone gives you a call and they come to see you and they're like, I'm just overwhelmed by all these heavy headlines right now. I'm worried about my money. What do you tell them? Because you kind of have to play therapist a little bit.
Absolutely. Psychology is a huge part of it. But the biggest thing is having a plan. Mm-hmm. And when I say a plan, I don't mean, this document in a binder that you did one day that you put on the shelf and it became obsolete the next day because the headlines changed or your life changed, something happened. When I say a plan, I'm talking about a living, breathing document that responds to life as life happens to you. So we can even do things like we can stress test those plans we put together. How do market conditions affect your plan? How's this going to affect your income? How will that affect, you running out of money or not? Inflation, all the different risks involved. Having a plan that can speak to that, I think, gives a pretty big sleep at night factor.
Same question to you, Matthew Decker, here on Retire ATL. Somebody comes to you and they're worried. What are some of the opportunities that you offer people so they don't have to be worried about their money?
Yeah, the big thing is just stress testing the major risks. So we'll look at rises in taxes. What if they double? What if tax rates double? What if they go up by 50%? What happens to your money? We can look at that. What happens if you have a long-term care episode? We can look at that. We have clients that are paying $10,000 a month in assisted living facility costs. Okay, well, what if that happens to you or your loved one? How does that impact the plan?
Yeah.
And it's not about knowing exactly how you're going to react in each of those situations. It's just seeing the effect and understanding that, one catastrophic event may not actually wreck everything that you've spent your life building. And if you can just get that clarity, it really does ease some of the anxiety of some of those big risks.
Yeah.
I love the Mike Tyson quote. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. What we know is that life's going to punch us in the face. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know where, but something's going to change. And the truth is, we can model those things. We can build those things in to see how your portfolio, how your plan's going to respond to it.
And it only takes a couple instances of seeing a stress test to realize, oh, maybe I'm a little bit more resilient than I thought. And if we can get you there, that's half the battle.
Right. Speed bumps in life, getting punched in the face. These are realities of life. And the team at the Vincent Financial Group, they want to help you out with these speed bumps. So give the team a call. Let's schedule that consultation. 770-741-0120. Matt, I'm going to ask you to say that again because you said when it comes to how much do I need to really start customizing a plan. I love the way you describe this.
Yeah, we're not miracle workers. Gosh, I would love to be. If I could just be a miracle worker, everybody would retire whenever they wanted, exactly how they wanted. But we're not miracle workers.
Only Jesus walks on water.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah, not me. And not Aaron either. Although I've never seen you try.
No.
Maybe if you gave it a shot, I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
We're both certified financial planners. We have a great team that we've built behind us, and we love our job and we love our clients, but we're not miracle workers.
Right.
So if you're somebody that feels like I gave it my best, I did what I needed to do, I just don't know what's next, we want to talk to you.
770-741-0120. If Matt, if Aaron, if they're talking to you this weekend, give the team a call. Just takes a couple of minutes on that initial phone call, couple of pieces of information to get you on the calendar to talk to the team at the Vincent Financial Group. 770-741-0120. Zoom appointments also always available. Define for me the perfect client. Who are we talking to this weekend?
Yeah, we're looking for somebody that is looking for help and willing to listen and willing to take advice. And, they're not afraid to ask questions, because the most important thing in building a plan is you have to have a plan that you can stick to. I'm about to get on a soapbox. Uh-oh, watch out.
Here we go.
We got them tuned up here.
All right. So my wife, Kate, is a fitness nut.
Okay.
And she's been on this fitness kick, and she's tried a bunch of diets in the past, and she recently cracked the code. So if you're someone who's struggled with dieting, I'm about to give you the secret right here. Here it is. You have to have a diet that becomes a lifestyle. Everybody knows somebody that yo-yo diets. They try one diet, it works for a couple weeks, and then they gain the weight back because they can't stick with it.
Yeah.
Well, financial planning is a lot like dieting. It's not going to work if it's a diet. If it's a plan, if it's a lifestyle, guess what? It's going to work. So many people come into our office looking for best or perfect, and you cannot approach retirement that way. You have to approach it as, what is a lifestyle that I know I can stick to? Even when, like Mike Tyson says, you get punched in the face, plan goes out the window. When life comes at you, can you stick to the plan? If you can't, you're on a diet. You don't have a lifestyle. And when it comes to your finances, it has to be a lifestyle. It can't be a diet.
Now, when it comes to diet, my lifestyle of Chick-fil-A sauce and Choco Tacos.
Hey, if you want that to be your lifestyle, you can have it. But you're going to need more money.
And bigger pants, too. That's the case. 770-741-0120. Reach out to the team. Let's have this conversation. You're hearing Aaron Vincent. You're hearing Matthew Decker talking about building income for retirement. You're thinking about your portfolio and you're going, this is me. I'm in this situation right now. Let's schedule that consultation. It's no cost. It's no obligation. 770-741-0120. This is Retire ATL, and it's all powered by the Vincent Financial Group. An estimated 10,000 baby boomers retire every day, and it's probably safe to assume that many of them are worried about the same thing, money. Now, you may be thinking, I've saved a good bit, but can I make it last for the rest of my life? What if I live a really long time? Well, you're not alone. Those are the kind of questions that Aaron Vincent and Matthew Decker of Vincent Financial deal with all the time. Their goal is to design a strategy that helps you feel more confident that your income will last as long as you do, even if that's a really long time. Whether you're recently retired or just getting close, call the team at Vincent Financial, 770-741-0120, and ask for the portfolio review. You can always get more from Vincent Financial when you visit them online at retireatlradio.com.